personally, I have the most fun in Ramadan because a lot of people come to you and ask you questions, which to them, they sometimes don't be afraid to even ask you to be like, yo, I don't mean to be offensive or anything. But for me, it's like, yeah, it's better you ask me now, and then you find them. Once you tell them these little details, wanaenda kungaria their fellow Christians. Like, oh, Jesus. That's an experience. Especially with like the editors. Especially with like the editors, you find you tell Kimeli something today, tomorrow,
Here, it's all about weekly topics,
comments and discussions,
and what's trending online.
Are you guys ready for the Pitstop? Yep.
How are you guys?
How are you?
Nangoja nini? Parapanda. Yeah, weekend imekuwa fiti. Including guest wa leo, Mr. Ayub. Yeah, leo tuko na guest. Tumekuwa fresh. Yeah. Guest mpito.
Kijana mzuri.
Yeah, anyway. So, yeah. Tuambie ndugu yangu, hii wiki naona you did something pale ulichangamsha watu.
Oh yeah.
You're trending on Twitter and TikTok and
no.
Facebook.
I know I had a bad day, like in
You're trending everywhere.
Yeah, so I was just thinking about charging. Unajua watu kuna watu especially unajua how they're always running.
What do you mean?
How ni akina nani? Why is it?
What have we done?
Where is my camera? Susan.
What have we done?
Simu nakwanga simu tu ziko where can I plug in? So in the spirit of plugging in everywhere.
Sounding quite controversial. But you know
I need an investigative piece.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all investigative.
Well,
yeah, about the risks of, mnajua is the USB charging ports. Not the usual sockets, the USB unakuja na cable yako peke yako. Apparently those things can be quite risky. So in the sense that watu hackers na cyber criminals in general, they can corrupt those ports. So plugins yako, it's locked na data yako ina transfer or they go to use it to maybe access your accounts or sell your information to other transmission. Passwords, bank, whatever logins. Yeah.
hizo points zinakwanga kwa gari, restaurant.
Kwa magari, yes, they're mostly
kwa
magari, yes, kwa magari, kwa restaurants, malls.
Yeah, so basi most likely nimenaswa.
Yeah,
there's a period nilikuwa nimezoea. Ukipata tu plug.
Hata unafika kama umuulize.
Yeah.
I have my
keyboard.
I have a keyboard. Yes,
Exactly.
Yeah. So so that's the risk that comes with that. Alafu was people would see for the piece. Hi. So you've probably seen these things in public spaces, eateries, malls, airports, and chances are you've probably used them in public transport. Public USB charging stations are a lifesaver when one is running low on battery, but they are also a gold mine for cyber criminals. How so, you might ask? Well, it's because of something called juicejacking. Juicejacking refers to a cyber theft tactic where cyber criminals load malicious software, also known as malware, onto public USB charging stations to access phones, tablets, and other devices while they're being charged. The corrupted USB port is then used to lock the device that's being charged or transfer sensitive data such as passwords. This is similar to, say, how you connect your phone to a laptop and transfer data across the two devices. Cybercriminals then use that information to access your online accounts, maybe banks, or sell it to other bad actors. It's worth noting that this is not entirely new. Warnings about these attacks are common from time to time, often issued as just regular PSAs from security agencies. Also, there are no known cases of juicejacking, and these warnings are based off of proof of concept demonstrations by cybersecurity experts. So, how do you stay safe from juicejacking? Number 1. Cybersecurity experts recommend inspecting the USB port before plugging in your cable to look out for signs of tampering. Now, this is of course difficult given that these public charging spots are usually worn out because of the nature of being open to everyone. Number 2, experts also advised against using public USB charging stations and using a power outlet instead. This way you can just plug in your power brick and cable and you're good. If you plug your device into a USB port and get a prompt asking you to select share data, trust this computer, or charge only, you're highly advised to always select charge only. And lastly, one can use a charging only cable, as this way no data can be sent or received.
It's always advised to me power bank. Its real name is a portable bat. Power bank. Yes. Alafu uende na kichwa ya charger pia kichwa chako cha charger kibebe mfukoni. Go and plug it in the actual socket, not the USB. Yeah. So what is it?
Something from
ndugu yangu leo amekoroga Kiswahili
Kabisa.
Kichwa cha charger kibebe mfukoni.
Kwenye mkoba.
Kwenye mkobani.
Hakikisha kiko mkobani.
Ngeli ya
charger.
Charger pia.
Anyway, that's enough. Mengi mtajionea. Hawataki kunisikiza
but in short usichaje simu kwa
msitumie viaja mahali pa we public space
quite risky mahali kwa umma.
Ndio hiyo sasa.
Sehemu za umma. Naam. Kama hayo. Where are you?
Anyway, so as I coming to you, it's the spirit of Eid.
Yeah.
So we have Ayub, one of us from the office.
Yeah.
Tukamwambia kuja utueleze haya mambo ni gani. Unajua tumezoea, most of us are used to Eid being about well, Muslim brothers and sisters wanafungua kula saa ngapi jioni. They are known to be very welcoming. It's a festive mood.
Hiyo feast,
yeah, so in the spirit of that, tunataka kujua about now the Ramadan period and which leads up to Eid. Yeah, Susan to try wewe una mambo yapi?
Ramadan mimi kukula tu, mimi nikisikia
Ramadan. No, huwezi anza
kula.
Ask the important tunafunzwa kwanza.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Personally, ningetaka kujua importance ya ama significance ya fast. Why do Muslims fast? Why is it in that period, not any other time of the year?
Okay, so when you talk about like Ramadan and fasting, Ramadan is a month in the holy month, the months of Islam. Right? See, the same way we have January to December, the same way we have months in Islam. So Ramadan in itself is not actually like only the act of fasting, but it's a month that comes after Shawwal. And after Ramadan we have Shawwal, the month we're in right now. So for people to know when exactly they're going to start fasting, Ramadan begins on the first day. Okay, so Ramadan begins on the first day of the month of Ramadan. You get me?
In the Muslim calendar.
You get me? And it's actually the whole premise of starting to fast is highly done on things like moon sighting. You get? Because during the month of Ramadan, I don't know if you've tried it. Did you observe the crescent moon ever in the entire month of Ramadan? Are you that deep?
I like watching the moon, but
not with that.
Yes, so I can't.
Exactly. So next time, just next year, try the entire month of Ramadan. If you spot a crescent moon, hit me up. You get me?
That can never
happen. You get me? So the crescent moon usually is spotted on the first day of Ramadan, and then after the 30 or sometimes 29, but mostly 30 days of Ramadan, you will also spot the same crescent moon. That is actually an indication that it's time to.
You've mentioned something, Shawwal and Shawwal.
Just group yourself.
Shawwal. Exactly. Shawwal. Yeah. So, what does that signify? Is it like another month now?
Yeah. So essentially, Ramadan, as I've told you, is like a month, right? And then, before Ramadan, let's say it's February.
Yeah.
The month before February is January. The month after February is March. In the same way, Sha'ban is the month before Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. So the 8th month is Shaban, and then the 10th month is Shawwal. So right now, since yesterday was the 8th, Shawwal has started. You get it? Yeah, so after Ramadan, a lot of Muslims actually fast an extra 6 days, but it's not mandatory, it's not a must, but it's kind of those things that you do to kind of cement what you've done in the previous month. Yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because so we mostly the non-Muslims we think about you go an extra mile to observe some things maybe during the other months of the year. We know about just not eating until a certain time and starting eating at a certain time. But what are some of the other things that you are restrained against?
So essentially, there's this notion that people think about Ramadan, all they think about is people are not drinking water or they're not eating during the day. But the fasting that people are talking about and is taught in the Quran and also in the religious teachings, you're fasting your soul. You get the things that you usually do on a daily basis when you're always overcome by your intrusive thoughts. That is what you're fasting. It's not just about not eating and not drinking. It's about also trying to be a better person and a better version of yourself and trying to restrict yourself from doing the things that you would have done, the wrong things you would have done on a normal basis for the sake of Allah. You get?
For the sake of Allah.
Yeah. So eating and drinking, human beings love to eat. Personally, I don't love to eat. Yeah. So you not eating or drinking and putting your body through that kind of stress is an act of sacrifice. But the biggest sacrifice of all is taming your soul, not being wild, let's say. Okay. But it's simply put. Simply put.
Interesting. Yeah. Also, exactly. I was about to ask that.
So the 5 mandatory prayers are still the same. However, during the month of Ramadan, after the last prayer of the day, which is Isha, we usually pray a prayer called Taraweh. So Taraweh essentially is a prayer that we also have to pray as a congregation. It usually depends on different sides of the world. You could pray 11 rakahs or 20 rakahs. It's just to pray to continue what you've done during the day. Because you notice, once you break the fast, in your head, mentally, you think, now the fast is over. You get me? But after you break the fast and you eat, you have to continue with your prayers, because it's a month kind of event. It's not just that during the day, you're sheikh, during the night, you're shaitan. You can balance it. So you pray for different things, different world, contemporary issues, different, because now you might notice there's this issue that has been happening in Palestine, in Gaza. So Muslims across the world use the month of Ramadan to pray to God and ask for intervention because people are being killed. So you use the time for worship and submission.
Interesting. And also, so there's most of the non-Muslims, they operate on these notions like information. People think there's a what do you think? What would you wish people, non-Muslims, knew about it and how they support it?
During the Ramadan.
Like you mentioned the period, very fit, being close to others.
You know, the beautiful thing about information is highly based on perception. What you perceive is what you understand, and what you understand is what you make meaning out of. So when it comes to Ramadan, I personally have the most fun in Ramadan because a lot of people come to you and ask you questions, which to them, the sometimes they'll be afraid to even ask you to be like, yo, I don't mean to be offensive or anything. But for me, it's like, it's better you ask me now. And then you find them, once you tell them these little details, wanaenda kungaria their fellow Christians. Like, oh, Jesus. Especially with like the editors. Especially with like the editors. You find you tell Kimeli something today, tomorrow, anangaria Muraya. Or you tell Muraya something. So I think it's when people show an interest to learn, it makes it easy for you to teach them things. So there's that, because Ramadan is all about togetherness. So that's why you might have noticed during Ramadan, fasting or breaking the fast was not just an Islamic thing. It was everybody around the office would essentially, when there was enough food, everybody would get something. What I would like them to know is that just learn and enjoy the experience. Like, don't feel like you're oppressed in the corner and you don't have to learn.
Yes. Oh, okay. Interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is a very, clearly it's a very expansive topic.
Yes,
so you can't exhaust it.
Oh,
sorry.
We'll have him again. Inshallah.
I'm telling you, if you want to say it right, just drop your body to come out naturally. If you say inshallah. Inshallah. Exactly. Just drop your body.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you say things? Actually, we'll give you the name of saying things.
Yeah. Thanks for watching in
Sarawak.
in your lingo.
You can't say it in Islam. You can say it in Somali.
In Somali.
Say it. Say it.
No, but you see, you need a lot of people. So you can say Shukran Jazila, Ismi Ayub Adan, Madrasa Islamic Kapsulin.
Same.
Shukran.
Bye.
Shukran.